Okay, so this is part two of the Leather Traveler's Notebook. Um, I have some explaining to do, but first, before I say anything else, I'm going to go ahead and in, insert the clips of what I've done so far. I have some clips that I sped up and shows the process of how I got to this point. And then we'll talk about the next step and some other things about the journal. And yeah, go from there. So I will insert that here. Okay, so we sewed the two pieces of leather together, or I did. I say we because I brought you guys along with me. I had the two pieces of leather that I cut out from off of the purse. I sewed them together, and I kind of quickly showed it in the other video. I did a zigzag, I glued them together first with some tacky glue, and then I did a zigzag stitch along each side of where it overlapped. So this is the outside. You can see where the piece of leather is, and then I covered it. I was going to show you, but I covered it with the lining. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to just say this was supposed to be my front, but I wasn't paying real close attention when I sewed this in the interior part on, and I sewed it on so that in this orientation so that this has to be the front. Okay, and I wanted to leave a bit of gap here because we have those nice finished edges from the purse. It was the opening of the purse, and I left a larger gap here, and I just put some lace on this side, left it loose, but I did a zigzag stitch on either side. I left the top and the bottom raw frayed edges because I like that, and I think I really like how it looks from this side. You can see the little frayed edges. I sewed all the way around it. I do want to point out, in the video I didn't show this part because I got ahead of myself. I started here and I sewed here, and I think I sewed along this edge, and then I was like, my interior was too loose. I didn't like the gap in between, so I took some tacky glue, Eileen's tacky glue. I showed the bottle in the video, if you're able to catch that, and I just put it all over on the interior between this fabric and the leather and glued them down, and then I finished stitching around. So far I'm really liking the way it looks. Now I did not have enough leather to make an actual traveler's notebook cover size, because by the time I overlapped it, it only came to about 9 inches. I don't have a ruler. Let me get my mat. Yes. I'll do it this way. Let's see. Where are we at? Yeah, it's 9 inches. Approximately 9 inches by, figure out how to use mine. Yeah, it's about a 9 by little, it's 9 by 8 and 8 3/4. No, 8.5. 9 by 8.5. So it's 8.5 inches this way, which would be perfect for traveler's notebook cover, but it's too narrow. Once you fold it this way, it only measures about 4.5 inches. So by the time you were to get a regular size standard insert inside here, it would either just barely fit or it would stick out. So what I've decided, oh, and I want to just explain, I did want to sew my pieces overlap this much. If I hadn't, I would have ended up with either this line right here would have been so close to the edge that it would have put a lot more tension on the seam, causing it to want to pop up, because if you were to try to fold it like that, it just puts a lot more tension on this area right here. Plus, I also, if I were to use eyelets or elastics, and I were to put holes in here, I wouldn't want the threads to interfere with the eyelets or the elastics. If I were to punch holes in that, I don't want to punch holes through my thread, because that would then mess up my seam and it would weaken the integrity of the book. So I did need to go at least 1 inch on the overlap. So I just want to clarify that. And I already threw away the scraps, but you could see what I cut off of the edge when I squared up the pieces. They were thin pieces like that. So there was no way to get enough leather for a standard traveler's notebook cover. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to just turn this into a journal. Now, it can be used standing alone. It could easily be used standing alone. That would be beautiful in and of itself. It's just a narrow, standard notebook or journal. Or you could put it inside a traveler's notebook cover if you so chose to. It's entirely up to whomever. And yeah, that's that. I need to trim that. Okay, so what I've decided to do, and I'm going to take you guys along on this part of the process as well, I have gathered the papers that I want to use for the interior of the journal. So we have coffee dyed papers, we have really grungy inked coffee dyed papers, book pages. I don't know what kind of paper this is, but I like it and I love the color. I'm kind of trying to stick with the color. It's kind of, it's olive green color. It's rustic. It's got kind of this writers, travelers type theme inside the inside cover. We got like this book here, poems from Longfellow, pocket watch, tags, things that would just inspire you to go out and explore either your local surroundings or other parts of the world. So we have pattern paper that's been coffee dyed. This also, these have already been folded. They'll have to be trimmed or folded to make tuck spots, and I'll take you guys along with me on that. More coffee dyed paper. Some of this, oh, I was saying I want to keep it rustic. I might go with a travel theme, so I may not use all of these papers, and I might. I wanted to use this big sheet so I can fold it up to make a large pocket. I want to keep it feminine, but not overly, I don't know how to explain it. My I guess just my style is feminine with a little bit of, I don't know, rustic, rough. I don't know how to explain it. I don't care for a lot of lace and frill. Not frilly, but feminine. How about that? So we have just some cardstock, pattern paper, index cards. These are things I may or may not use. This is a journaling card. It's just some scrap pieces of pattern paper. This I'll probably layer up to make some pockets. It's just an old manila envelope. I just went through my scrap drawer. Got book text. I like this. It says New Dreams. I'll probably use that somewhere. Put this on the edge of a page. I don't know why I'm telling you this. I'm going to show you. This is a book jacket. I like the trees. Just some more scraps that we can make journaling cards out of, and pockets and embellishments. This is a sticker. It's handwriting for children to learn how to write cursive, and I'll probably use that somewhere in there and ink it up, make it look aged and rustic. Okay, then I went through my scrap bin, my fabric scrap bin. These are not scraps, but I think I will try to use these somewhere. We have some black lace, some leather cording, some lace, just fabric scraps that are in colors that I wanted to use for this. We have a bit of leather here. I also want to not only decorate the book itself, but I had another button. Where'd it go? Here it is. Some buttons here that these actually came from Renee at GT Designs, so I will try to use those somewhere in the book. I like the colors. I also want to decorate the cover of the book. I think I might even just put the buttons on here. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. I might put, I don't know. I don't know what we'll do, but I will take you guys with me through that. I will probably show it that part sped up. That will be the next installment of the book, and I will show the book and do a flip through as well. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this part 2 of the craft with me, and thanks for watching. Bye.